G'day guys, so this particular video I'm going to talk about a more forward-thinking topic, and that is the roll-on effects of inflation. Meaning, we know that gas prices have already gone up like 50% plus in several countries. We know that the cost of living is going up to extreme rates. We know that it's getting harder to get by. That part we know. What's going to happen next is probably more important, because if it's going to get a lot worse, we need to prepare ourselves to face the challenges that are about to come, and probably put you in a position even to profit from the challenges that are about to come. That's even better if you can do that. So let's talk about it. That being said, disclaimer up front, this is an opinionative piece. It's not financial or legal advice, but having said that, let's get straight into it. So what happens when the price of fuel or energy keeps going up to extraordinary levels? Well, the thing is, it has a huge roll-on effect to everything else, because everything relies on energy. You have delivery people need gas to deliver things. You need Uber drivers need to charge more to get you in their taxis, to get you from point A to point B. Everything becomes more expensive. And when that happens, then that's where things like food crisis come up. In many countries, Egypt, I think Tunisia, a couple of other countries as well, you have situations where the cost of wheat, the cost of corn, the cost of basic necessities are getting to exorbitant levels where even the average person can't afford it anymore. Sri Lanka is another good example of that. Now, it hasn't happened to countries like the United States or Australia or any of those leading Western first world countries, but you can already see signs on the news or on Twitter or any of these media channels where you can see farms literally dumping thousands and thousands of liters of milk, dumping potatoes, dumping, cows suddenly dropping dead by the hundreds of thousands. That stuff is really happening right now, and it's signs of what's to come. I think personally, when it comes to the point of, well, where does this whole thing, like, what's the worst that could happen? Well, what I see happening is, I think the sun is always going to be growing food from the ground. There's always going to be potatoes and vegetables and produce. The problem is getting that produce from the farm to the grocery store. I think that's the key problem. When you have gas prices becoming too expensive, now you have this challenge where distribution companies, those are the companies that take your stuff from the farm to the grocery store, they can't make money sending your goods to you, to the grocery store. And so since they can't make money, instead of delivering for free, they're just not going to deliver at all. And when that happens, now you have an excess of stuff, potatoes, milk, everything just on the farm, unable to be delivered to the customer. And instead of giving it away for free, just dump it, get rid of it. I see that being the major problem. And if that is going to happen, then there's a couple of roll-on effects. Number one, people are going to find it more practical and reasonable to live away from the city, live in regional areas, suburban areas, especially now with the internet. You can work literally from anywhere. I think people are going to start exploring living away from major cities and growing stuff locally. So I think that's something that should yield good results if you get into that early and prepare yourselves with your own hobby farm, with your own place, like your sanctuary, where you can basically live off the land in your own little way. So food security is way up there amongst the priorities. And then the next piece that's really, really important is assets that go up when hits the fan. Like, here's the number of assets that won't go up if there is a crisis like this. Well, you know that, for example, properties in suburban areas or in cities where there's a lot of mortgage debt, those types of properties will start being sold off at fire sale prices. Why? Because when people can't afford to buy food anymore, then they stop making payments on their mortgage, and when they can't pay their mortgage, banks have to foreclose, and when banks foreclose, they will sell just to get back the amount of debt that's owed to them, right? Or as much as possible. So areas with high amounts of debts probably will suffer, whereas areas that don't have a lot of debt, for example, regional parts of Indonesia, they'll just keep going up as normal. The other thing as well is, so properties, when it comes to properties, what are the kinds of properties that'll do well? In my opinion, it's properties that produce useful stuff, things that you use day to day. So farms, land that has factories that produce goods that are used by people every day. Those kinds of properties will be very, very valuable in the event of a crisis or a hyperinflation. And meanwhile, assets such as gold that have proven to do well during crises will obviously do pretty good as well. This particular time, this moment in history, we have another asset called Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. That's a new asset class that hasn't been around in the last major crises. We're talking like Spanish flu, World War II, that type of crisis. So this is the first time we have Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but it has all the characteristics of being an asset class that should outperform many other asset classes in a major economic crisis. It's very portable. Nobody can steal it from you. They can't force you to repossess it or force you to transfer. You just need a USB, like a little ledger wallet, your secret keys, and you're good to go. This was actually pretty well tested during the Ukrainian war. When Ukraine war just broke out, there were people sending tweets where they were like, my credit card can't be used, I can't withdraw any of my savings, the only reason I can escape to Kazakhstan is because I had cryptocurrencies, right? So that's one of the reasons why I think this particular crisis, I think cryptocurrencies will do very well. And yeah, those are generally the types of assets that will perform in a bad situation. So in short form, what should you be preparing for? Well, me personally, we have land where we're growing like fish, vegetables, chickens, just in the event that, we literally can't get food. Not because we can't afford it, but because the food can't get from the farm to us. We have food available locally to us, right? That's number one. Number two, excess funds, we put it in assets that we believe will do better during an economic crisis. Productive land, gold, cryptocurrencies with a major amount in crypto because I believe that's going to be very useful. But those are the things that we are preparing for right now. Not that it gets to the worst case scenario, but if it does, we're prepared for it. We can survive and we'll thrive, right? And that's really the goal of everything. So hopefully sharing these ideas and tips with you leads to extra thought bubbles that are going to be useful to you in the future. If you enjoyed this particular topic, leave a comment and subscribe and share this with anybody you think needs to hear this message. That being said, we're going to be posting more videos like this in the future, so we'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, and here's to your success. Guys, if that video was useful to you, don't forget we've got some other useful videos right here for you to watch, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel here as well. That will help you stay updated whenever we post future content. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to put that bell notification on as well. All right, so we'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care, and bye for now.